Welcome back, everybody, and let's continue on with the uh, the method to determine the piercing point by inspection and by projection and construction. If you look at this first method here, is to determine the piercing point by inspection. So, given this circle top view and the bottom view here, and by inspection, if you looking at this direction here and project them down here, and your piercing point is right here. And then if you look at the other different object here, and if you look at the this view here, and if your piercing point is here, and you would just project all the way to the top, and if you're looking at this direction, your piercing point is going to intersect at this location. So this is just by inspection, but of course it's not as accurate as by construction. Let's go to piercing point by construction. So constructing the piercing point, construct true length of the line on the surface first, and then you project a point view of the true length line and an edge view of the surface. The line and the edge view indicate the piercing point. Transfer it into the other view and determine the visibility of the line. Let's get to the real practice. If you look at this given the top view and the front view, and given this arrow here and this arrow here, the same arrow, xy. Now you want to determine where the piercing point is. So first you want to do is to get the true length. And why do I know this is your true length? Again, whenever this line that is parallel to this line, your projected line would be your true length of the line. So now as you have the true length, the next thing is from the true length, you're going to have to project them perpendicular to the another fold line here to get your auxiliary view. And you will just project everything, all the point, project them, pass through that this fold line here, same thing over here. And then when you get this distance, your distance is going to measure from here. For example, you have so distance C. So your distance C from here, if you project this line here, this is your projection line. Your distance here to here, call it x, is the same as the distance here, and I call it x. So you do the same thing, get all this distance here, project them to here, and that's how you get this piercing point. Once you establish all this point, you have xy, where the xy is, and then you get your AC. And once you get your AC point, now your intersection point will be your piercing point. So this intersection point is your piercing point, and the point view BD, and it's going to establish one point here. So you get this point view BD, and then you get the piercing point here. Now the final step is to find out how this thing here is, how this arrow is gonna go through that object. So to get the piercing point, you will just project this back to this point here. You're gonna terminate that over here. You call it a piercing point. Do the same thing. You're gonna project that down here to get your another piercing point. And then once you get to this piercing point, and now you're gonna leave a gaps, and this line is gonna go to here from your piercing point through this object and get this at the front. So you're gonna, so which one closest to the fold line? So you know this closest to the fold line from the piercing point to your y point is closest to the fold line. Therefore, this is going to be on top. If it's further away, that means it's not going to be on top. So whichever give you the closest to the fold line first. So this is closest to the fold line, and therefore this is on top. And then if you look at the last step here, same thing. So you always skip a view to look at which one get closest. So to determine this, so if this is on top, that means this is also on top, because this is always, if this is closest to here, then this is on top. So this is another example of, if you look at this, another good example of piercing point by construction. So this is the one that, if you look at the this view here, top bottom view, and looking at this top view here, you're going to project this H view, and then to establish your piercing point. The same idea how we establish it here. To summarize, let's go back. So first thing you would do is to get a piercing point. So find out where the true length is. To get the true length, always this line and this line, find out which one is parallel to the fold line. And if you don't have any, you just have to draw that line that is parallel to the fold line. This line parallel to here. Therefore, this is your true length. With the true length, project them 90 degree to another fold line, and this point here, D, B, will turn into a point view. This is going to be your piercing point. Why? Because that's how they intersect. So your XY, once you have XY, you have this XY, and then you have AC. What is AC? AC, AC. So you know you're going to intersect at this piercing point. So with your piercing point, project them back to get where the piercing point in the top view, and then do the same thing, project them down here to get the piercing point in the front view. Once the piercing point they are established, then you can just continue on to find out which one is on top based on which one closest to the fold line first. So this is closest to the fold line, therefore this is on top. And same thing apply to the bottom. When this is on top, same thing, this is going to be on top of the surface. Let's go to same thing. Now that we know how to determine the piercing point by inspection, we know how to determine the piercing point by construction. Now let's get to determine the piercing point by line projection. To get the line by line projection, so same idea. So from here, step 1, you're going through, but you're not sure where to go through and which one is going to be on top first. So now you're going to have to find out where the piercing point is. So you got one arrow this way, and from here project this line here, and once you have this line this line is the same as this line, and when you get intersection point, this is your piercing point. So how far we're gonna go, how far this arrow is gonna go, it's gonna go to the piercing point and then skip and then through. Same thing when this is go through here, and then you're gonna and then this arrow is gonna come out from here. So this is the point come up from there. So same idea. So you don't know where the arrows is gonna go through, and you're gonna project them down here, and then to get your piercing point, this is your point going down and intersect at this point. This is your piercing point, and then it's gonna penetrate up to this point and then come up from this another piercing point there. So okay, so let's continue on to piercing point. Another good example of how to determine the piercing point by line projection. So given this arrow, how far it's gonna go through. Now that if you go through this circle here, project this 2 point down to get this 2 point here, x and y. From this x and y, and then you're gonna draw a line that is to the top of the shape here. Draw another line to the cone, to the top of the cone, the peak of the cone, and then to intersect here. You see one piercing point, and then 2 piercing point, and at the piercing point, they always go through up to the piercing point and then come up there. Same thing. So you would project them back to find out where the piercing point is, and that's how this arrow goes to stop at the piercing point and then come out from the other piercing point. So it's the same kind of a idea. So same thing, where the piercing point is. So you're gonna project them down, and to draw this line here to get the x and y line, find the intersection point, and then this is your piercing point, and then same thing, project them up, and you get this another piercing point. So you know this is gonna be the piercing point. So your arrow is gonna go to this piercing point and come out from the other piercing point here. Everything the same idea. You project them back here, the arrow come out from this piercing point. So same idea. Project this down here to get this 2 point. Your arrow is going to go to this piercing point, and then come out here, and then project them back up, and your arrow is going to go to here and come out there. Okay, this finished the piercing point video, and then the next one we're going to talk about the intersection of 2 planes.